Former President Trump was also in New York attending a wake for a New York police officer who was gunned down in the line of duty. Rachel Scott has more. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Rebecca, good morning to you. Yeah, Donald Trump was eager to try to draw a contrast with President Biden and that star-studded fundraiser just a few miles away, meeting with the family of an NYPD officer who was killed in the line of duty. Officer Jonathan Diller was shot during a traffic stop on Monday. The 31-year-old was rushed to the hospital where he died, leaving behind a wife and a 1-year-old son. The former president attended the wake for Diller, but also used it as an opportunity to call for a crackdown on violent crime, telling reporters the country has got to get back to law and order. Trump did not provide any specific details on how he would combat crime if he were to be reelected, and FBI data does show a drop in violent crime nationwide. It is also worth noting, as the former president continues to push for law and order, he also has expressed deep support for the rioters that stormed the Capitol on January 6th, many of whom were convicted for brutally attacking police officers that day. And of course, Trump himself is now being charged with 88 criminal counts, Gio.
All right, Rachel, thank you.
It's a huge bridge. It's going to be in pieces and tangled. The water is murky, almost no visibility, and some current. So you combine all that, and very dangerous environment for divers to work. Picture a big, heavy Jenga game. It gets precarious, and it can all come down at any moment. I think there's a lot of urgency to not only recover the deceased, but open that channel and get the bottleneck of shipping flowing again. I would be guessing, because I'm not there and I have not seen this myself, but I would say we're looking at, days, not weeks, to move that ship and hopefully potentially clear the channel. It doesn't mean that the salvage will be over at that point. There will probably be debris and inspections and investigations going on for many weeks and months.
Okay, so 35 minutes past the hour now, and we are learning more about the sex trafficking raids on mansions belonging to Sean Diddy Combs. LA Times reports that agents seized hard drives and electronics. And what else? Derek Parker is a retired NYPD detective. He worked in the department's rap intelligence unit. Nice to see you. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. So the reason why we know about this is because at least 4 civil suits have been filed against him. And in those suits, what were the allegations they were making?
Sex trafficking, gun possession, and narcotics.
Okay, and so the police made a move this week. And if you look at some of these aerials, Derek, they went in with a ton of firepower. Why was all that necessary?
Well, once they had information that there were probably weapons in the house and the drugs, they had to be careful. So they mounted a team of, just like their SWAT team, to go in and to take care of that safely.
Here's from the LA Times saying that inside the Sean Diddy Combs raid, emptied safes, dismantled electronics, gun-toting feds. Sources said it appears investigators searching Combs' Holmby Hills home emptied safes, dismantled electronics, and left papers strewn in some rooms. Federal agents disabled his security system and seized the hard drive. That's a source according to the Times. So on the hard drive, that's where I assume they would have. They believed they needed it for evidence?
Well, the feds had a warrant to go in, and when they search these locations, their judge signs off on the warrant. They go in and they search everything in the house, from floors to cabinets to safes. They're all specified in the warrant.
Okay, so I mentioned the lawsuits, right? Just put those up here. This goes back to November of last year, right? Cassie, former girlfriend,
yes,
files these suits. The next month you have Jane Doe, not public, right? Says she was gang raped at age 17. Then you get a suit in February, another suit in March. If they go forward with this trial, where the raids happen in LA and the raids happen in Miami, the trial comes in New York?
Well, the Southern District is the one that's probably orchestrating everything right now. So everything that's coming out of this case is going to come from New York. Even though it's in Miami, even though it's in LA or whatever it is, they're going to take over. The Southern District is going to take. They initiated the case, and they're going to take the case.
Do you have any insight into his state of mind right now?
Not really. Listen, I knew Diddy back when I arrested him for the Club New York shooting, and then the assault with Steve Stout at MTV. We know each other. pretty well, I mean, professionally. But I haven't seen him in years. But right now, it's got to be bothering him. You know, I mean, he's at this height in his life where he's a billionaire almost, and he's very, very well liked by some people, not by others. But he's very famous. I know this has got to be bothering him right now. All these allegations that have come out against him, and the people that come out against him.
You followed his career then?
Because, sort of, yes.
And I mean, you guys have that relationship, right?
Yeah, I've been following him from the time when I knew him.
Has he been living a clean life?
For the most part, I could say yes and maybe no. I mean, there's other people that if you ask, they're going to say no, that he's lived different lives.
I got to keep you on speed dial, because I want to find out how you get to be the hip-hop cop.
Well, we had a problem back in the days with the rap music.
Derek, nice to see you.
Nice to have you. Thanks. You're welcome anytime.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good Easter.
Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
You mentioned this, Dana. I'm going to get to it now. An elite immigration team making a major bust, taking down 5 alleged migrant criminals, and they did it while working around sanctuary city policies. Bill Malusian embedded with that team in Boston. He's got the story now. Bill, what you learn? Hello.
Hey, Bill, good morning to you. ICE says because of sanctuary policies here in Massachusetts, illegal aliens charged with heinous crimes are essentially able to roam the streets after release without any notice. And we were with ICE as they took down 4 alleged child rapists and an MS-13 gang member, all in a single morning.
Any questions, you can talk to your team later.
It's the pre-dawn hours in Boston.
Kid has a real violent history.
And this elite team of ICE deportation officers is briefing on their target list for the day. Illegal aliens charged with egregious crimes.
All the targets today, every single one of them is an aggravated felony here in the Commonwealth. So these are really the cases that are the worst of the worst here in Massachusetts.
ICE quickly takes down its first target, an illegal alien from Guatemala, charged with aggravated child rape. Minutes later, ICE arrests a Colombian national, charged with the rape of a child above age 14.
I don't have enough officers or resources to tackle every one of these public safety threats. Are we going after the child rapist today, or are we going to go after that 2 times deported fentanyl dealer? Because we can't get both.
ICE's next arrest, a combative MS-13 gang member from El Salvador, charged with a slew of violent crimes. Officers then arrested this Brazilian man, charged with 5 counts of aggravated rape of a child.
How are you guys not notified about a child rapist being released?
Unfortunately, in Massachusetts, that's how it is with most of these sanctuary jurisdictions.
A short time later, ICE took down their final target, a Brazilian gang member, also charged with child rape. Just this morning today, 4 accused child rapists and 1 MS-13 gang member. Those are the kind of people you're going after.
That's every day up here in Boston. If those are the public safety threats that we really want to get off the street. It was a great day for the teams. That's 5 public safety threats that are in the community going to go ahead and victimize anyone else.
And I says all of those arrests you just saw happen because local authorities ignored their detainer request to keep these guys in custody due to sanctuary policies. I says all of those suspects will remain in federal custody until their local charges are resolved. Then ICE will seek to deport every single one of them.
Wow.
We'll send it back to you.
And making a point of doing it in a city like Boston with the sanctuary policies in place. Really intriguing stuff, Bill. We'll see what comes of it next. Thank you. Bill Malugin in Boston.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
The Biden administration has created an alternative universe where any criticism of the dear leader is a hate crime. The campaign, aiming to flip North Carolina, sent Binder to do a local radio hit, and she hung up the phone on them.
They all said, would you please just ask her, does the president have dementia? So before I move on from that, does he?
Mark, I can't even believe you're asking me this question. It is incredibly insulting, and so we can move on to the next question.
Gas prices and grocery prices, then. Big topics here in North Carolina. How does Mr. Biden win votes when people don't have as much disposable income?
Eggs, milk, seafood products, all the important groceries, those costs have gone down because of what this president has been able to do. And with that, thank you so much, Mark. Have an amazing, amazing day.
Wow.
And she hung up.
Flying into Russia's biggest moneymaker. This is one of more than a dozen Ukrainian drone strikes reported on Russian oil refineries since the start of the year. And we now understand at least some of them powered by a form of artificial intelligence. It's one reason they can travel much longer distances. Some of these hits are happening more than 1,000 kilometers from Ukrainian territory. And it's a big reason why they can avoid this happening: being jammed by Russian electronic warfare. A source close to Ukraine's drone program tells us that artificial intelligence is now in use in drones like these.
They're striking targets that need a lot of Western technology, and Russia has a much more difficult time procuring this technology.
It also allows for a high degree of precision. Look at this hit, geolocated to the Ryazan oil refinery in western Russia. The same tower hit twice.